I'm out with Dane and Rory today. We were at Riverside State Park at the airstrip. They are getting some distance in, and I am going to walk and see if I can't mark out a great 1 mile course that might be something fun for us all to do later with just one big nice lap, more like cross country, covering some distance and not just kind of going around and around and around again at our little tiny loop in Corbin Park. So we'll see what we can figure out. This is a great spot. Parking's easy. There is a decent outhouse. There's a kitchen shelter with some cover. So this 7 mile, the old airstrip, might be a cool spot for us. So I'll do my best to get some strength training and conditioning recommendations and videos and things up soon. But before I dive into my zones video talking about cardio and staying in zone 2, the kids and I have just been having some conversations about what competition might look like moving forward as they get older and what opportunities might be available to them. Nice work, kiddos! So we talked a little bit at the end of track season last year that there are regionals, there are USA track and field events in our area. Some kids from schools and from other teams have parents that are kind of in the know that get those kids into those races unassigned where they're competing without a team. And we had some Spokane families go to nationals in Savannah, Georgia last year, which is really pretty awesome, mostly for field events that I know of. But USA Track and Field was one of the first things that popped up on my radar, just feeling like middle school track is going to be a mixed bag. High school track and cross country I am super excited about. And if the kids do well with cross country and track, there's the opportunity to go on and compete at state. But what does nationals look like? What does Junior Olympics look like? What doors could be opened if our kids get really competitive and do really well, either with distance or sprints or field events? So it's kind of a rabbit hole that we've gone down. So USATF, I'm still very excited about. USATF, USA Track and Field, is the governing body that does the Masters program, the youth program. They sent a bunch of people onto the Olympics. It's like kind of like the official track and field program for the country, cultivating athletes and getting people ready for the Olympics. USA Track and Field is also very well represented in the western half of the United States and in our region. So we have regionals, usually maybe in the Tri-Cities, maybe even Spokane Valley one year. So there's close races where you can go to qualify for regionals. And then if you do well there, you can get a slot at nationals. And I think it could be pretty neat to have the opportunity to travel and give the kids some exposure to just kind of that race culture, especially if they earn the slot. That being said, there is another organization, AAU, which is Amateurs Athletic Union, I believe. And they host what they call the Junior Olympics. Now, it's not the International Olympics that we think of. They call it the Junior Olympics, but it is just a United States national organization. AAU covers a lot of different events. They do soccer and basketball and chess, but they also do track and field. AAU isn't as well represented in the Western United States. Our region is a fairly large region, and our regional qualifier for that next year would be in Reno, Nevada. Now, we have family in Reno, Nevada, so we might expose Dane and Rory to that. Membership is not very much. It's be like $14-17 for the kids to register. Definitely not as focused on track as USA Track and Field. So I feel like USA Track and Field is where I would like to register the club and be affiliated with that organization. Then just being aware of the AAU events might be another pathway to a national program. Might be another fun Western region travel experience to get to go down to Reno and give the kids a chance to compete down there. at least for the ones that are old enough that want to do it in 2026. So USA Track and Field and AAU are two organizations that have national level competitions for track and field and for cross country at the youth level. Once the kids move on to the collegiate level, there's the NCAAA. There's a lot of drama right now in NCAA races, which might be far enough off for most of you that maybe you're not paying attention. But the national Division I NCAA cross country race last year, out of the top 30 male and top 30 female finishers, only 5 of them were from the United States. And there is more concern. So there's a lot of concern about recruitment, that these Division I schools are going to Ethiopia and bringing in a bunch of people to run. But the third place finisher in the nation last year was from WSU, and he's 29 years old. And so there's kind of some push for the NCAA to buckle down, get that sorted out. So who knows where it's going to be when our kids get to college. But right now, if I was going to be looking at encouraging my kids to go to college and do an NCAA program, I think we'd be looking for a school that is offering scholarships, that's not trying to do what WSU is doing and recruiting a bunch of people from off the continent. So we're not putting a lot of stock in the NCAA at this point. Hold up, I'm gonna get an update, I think. How you guys doing?
Good, we're almost a third of the way done with our run.
All right. How you doing, Rory? You doing good? I'm a third of the way done with our team video. Hey, keep it up. So other than USA Track and Field and AAU, the other thing that I'm keeping my eye on is the actual International Youth Olympics. So AAU calls their annual nationals the Junior Olympics. The Junior Olympics with AAU is not affiliated with the Olympics and all the rings that we watch on TV. So the Olympics, the International Olympics that we watch, also hosts a Youth Olympics. Now the Youth Olympics, unlike the National Junior Olympics, is 15 to 17 years old only. So or maybe 18. And that's something for the kids to have their sights set on, for us to put those national and international times on the wall so we know what we're aiming for. Because the Youth Olympic Games coincide with the Olympic Games, not necessarily the same venue though. There's a relatively small window for the kids to get to participate. So from 15 to 17, 15 to 18 years old, with the Olympics being every other year and then winter/summer, there's a very small window for them to get to compete, especially if there's one thing that they're really good at that they want to attempt to go for it. So in my spreadsheet, where all the scores you guys send me for the season, I have everybody's birth date. So I keep you all ordered by your birthdays. And then what I did from there is I broke down the ages as far as every column in the Excel spreadsheet goes up a year. So I have a window of when everybody is 15 to 18 years old and what Olympics they would qualify for. So Annika is our oldest runner. She'll be 15 in 2028, which means that would be a year for a Winter Olympics. And that Winter Olympics is going to be in Italy. So Annika, if you want to get with Kinsley and start practicing your cross-country skiing, that might be a really awesome opportunity. Next time I need to charge my GoPro. This camera's getting obnoxiously heavy. Keep it up, buddy. So after Annika in 2028, in 2030, Annika, Dane, and Emma would all be eligible for the Summer Olympics. Emma will be 15, Dane will be 16, Annika will be 17. The location for the 2030 Junior Olympics, Youth Olympics, has not been announced yet. The following year, 2032, Dane, Emma, Rory, Marianne, Jonah, Kinsley, and Mason, that would be your guys' Winter Olympics that you would be eligible for. Dane is going to be 18 that year. Rory will be 16, Emma will be 17. So you're going to be the older ones in that group. And then 2034 is going to be Rory, Marianne, Jonah's, Kinsley, Mason's year for the Summer Olympics. You guys will be 18 or 17, with Emron and Lionel at 15, just barely qualifying for that Summer Olympic. And then 2036 would be Emron and Lionel's Winter Olympics when they're 17. So it's kind of neat to see it broken out by season. If I throw this video on the blog, I'll export a little copy of my spreadsheet so you guys can kind of see those years. But 2030, we would have 3 runners, Annika, Dane, and Emma, coming up. That's going to be here before we know it. Keep it up, Rory! All right, so as you guys are training, that is something to have your mind set on. We got SYSA track season coming up. That'll have an all-city event. We want to do the best we can possibly do there. If we do good there, in June, we look at USATF regional competitions. The location and exact date aren't announced for that yet, but it'll probably be Tri-Cities or Spokane. So we can compete at regionals. If you do really good at regionals, you get to do nationals with USATF. If you want to have a fun family road trip and go down to regionals, you can do AAU regional qualifier with to try to qualify for the USA Junior Olympics. And then that's all next year, but like looking out farther, to keep building on our athletic base, to keep getting faster and stronger. Maybe if you are checking those boxes and doing good at regionals and making it to nationals, maybe we really need to be keeping our eye on those Olympic years and seeing what locations are coming up for those and figure out what we need to do to qualify there. So I'm already trying to talk Dane and Rory into picking up cross-country skiing. So for those winter seasons, we can have a good cardio activity to compete in as well. Nice work, Dane. Halfway? Yeah. How far are you going?
An hour.
You're gonna go for an hour? He's never done an hour. We will see. All right, good job, kiddos, getting your times in, getting your miles in. Let's keep building a foundation with long, slow runs, and we'll keep getting those slow miles in with the transition to speed and more strength coming after New Year's.